Hello and welcome to Nullitaire Gaming, where we play games with 0 players. Or in other words, we play bots against one another. And in this series we're playing Imperium, both Classics and Legends, a game by Nigel Buckle and David Turtsey. And we're playing a tournament. And so far we've played, several games here. 6 total games of the tournament. And if you haven't seen any of those, I recommend going back and watching from the beginning. I'll put a link to the full playlist for this series in the description, so you can start from the beginning if you like. Especially you should watch the first video where I describe how I do setup and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but we've played 6 games. 6 games. And so we're on the final 2 games of the first round. So in this video we're going to play the Qin versus the Carthaginians. Okay, here we go. Okay, the game is set up. As usual, I decided randomly who would go first, and the Qin won the coin toss there, so they're going to be first player, and they'll be on the left. The top row here will represent their hand, and I've put their deck in line with that to remind me of that fact. And the Carthaginians will be over here. Their hand will be this bottom row. And so their deck is even with that. Okay, the Dynasty decks are back here, sort of out of the way again, to make sure I don't accidentally draw cards from them, and I'm not supposed to. And another point here, these two bots play slightly differently than the others, so I just want to point out the difference here. During the bot cleanup phase, both of these bots have a special exception. If you're playing against the Carthaginians, instead of adding a progress token to the market at the end of the turn, you add 2 materials. And if you're playing against the Qin, instead add a population. So it's just, coincidence that we happen to get these 2 up against each other here. Okay, so instead of placing progress at the end of each of the bots' turns, we'll remember to put a population for the Qin and 2 materials for the Carthaginians. Fortunately, it's written on the charts here. Here it says place 1 population instead of 1 progress. And over here also place 2 materials instead of progress. Okay, and as before, I've put some post-it notes here over the tables that are not relevant right now, just to make sure that I'm always looking at the right tables, and I don't accidentally look at the wrong table. So that's what that's all about. Okay, same thing over here. All right, looks like we're ready to go. The Qin start out with a bang by rolling a 6, and they play a region, Western Zhou, something like that. Okay, it's a region card. So Qin, they're barbarians now. Okay, so first thing, region. Gain population. Play the region, exile the card from the market, discard the top card from the bot deck. Okay, so lots to do. Alright, so they gained a population, discarded their top card, played that region over there, and now they'll exile the card from the market. As always, bots exile from the left side of the market to the right, and they just take the first card that has no tokens on it. So right now that's the Sumerians. Oh, I forgot to put unrest under these. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, fix the market. Put some unrest in there. Okay, next card for the Qin is Mandate of Heaven, which is a pinned card. Has no other symbols on it. So it's not fame, not glory, not attack, not barbarian, not region. Pinned. Add 1 population to the market card in the slot matching the number on the die. Okay, which is a 6. Okay. Acquire a card that has 1 or more population on it. There are no cards in the market that have 1 or more population on it. Put this card into history and you may draw a card. Okay, remember that when it says you, it's referring to the solitaire player, because these bots were written for solitaire play. But for us, we understand that to mean the other bot. So that's saying that the Carthaginians may draw a card. But, of course, bots don't have hands of cards, so what that really means for us is that the Carthaginians will discard the top card of their deck. Okay, so how this all plays out is they attempt to put population on the card in the 6th slot, but there is no 6th slot. It only goes up to 5. The unrest cards are not part of the market. So that doesn't work. Then they try to acquire a card that has some population on it. None of them have any population, so that doesn't work. And then the next thing is that they put this card into their history, so that does work. So they can do something here. And then the opposing bot discards the top card of their deck. Okay, that's it. Next card is School of Diplomacy, which is an attack card. So that says, if able, acquire a region. They can do that. There's one in the market. If you have at least one region in play, you recall a region, so that is to say the other bot would have to recall a region. They don't have any in play, so that won't do anything. And the bot abandons a region if able. Okay, so the bot meaning the Qin here. Again, these are written for solo play, so the bot is assuming there's only one bot in play. But of course we're playing with two, so we have to reinterpret that. So the bot means the Qin here. Okay. Since there's only one region in the market, the Qin will acquire that. And the Carthaginians don't have any regions in play, so the rest of this is irrelevant. Okay, so that's all that's going to happen with this card. The next card is Confucianism, which is pinned. So, add one population to the market card in the slot matching the number on the die. Again, that's a 6, so that won't do anything. Acquire a card that has one or more population. Again, there won't be any. So, this card will go into history, and the Carthaginians will discard a card. Okay, last card for the Qin is Unrest. Just go back to the Unrest pile. And that's it for them. They won't place any population because they rolled a 6, so they'll just refill their hand. They do not quite have enough cards in their deck to refill their hand, so one card from the Dynasty deck, and they'll shuffle. The Carthaginians start by rolling a 5, and their first card is Dido, Queen of Carthage, which is a barbarian card. Okay, so not fame, not glory, barbarian. If able, spend 3 population. They don't have that. To break through for a tributary. Okay, they don't have 3 population. Otherwise, if able, spend 2 materials. They don't have that either. To acquire a civilized or uncivilized card. Otherwise, gain 1 materials and 1 population and put this card into history. Okay, so Dido is going into history in exchange for 1 material and 1 population. Next card is Carthaginian Traders, which is also a barbarian card. So we're going to have a repeat here. Okay, they can't spend the 3 population, they can't spend the 2 materials, so again they'll gain 1 of each and this card will go into history. Next card is Advance, which is another barbarian card. So we'll almost have a repeat, except this time they do have enough materials. Okay, they don't have 3 population though, but they do have the 2 materials now. So they'll spend 2 materials to acquire a civilized or uncivilized card. So there are 3 cards they could acquire that are civilized or uncivilized, these 3 here. These 2 are both worth the same, 6 points. They have asterisks at the bottom, which are worth 5, plus the 1 progress. So those are 6, and this one's worth 1. So these 2 are worth the most. First tiebreaker is most tokens. They're tied in that regard. Second tiebreaker is the lowest slot, so furthest to the left. Okay, so they're going to take urban development and acquire it. And again, acquire means putting right on top of the deck, with the Unrest on top. Okay, last card for the Carthaginians is Unrest. So that just goes back to the pile. Okay, so now they're going to place 2 materials, instead of 1 progress, on the 5 card. So, unfortunately, I'll slide this card down and refill their hand. Okay, the Qin start their next turn by rolling a 1, and the first card they play is Prosperity, which has no icons on it at all, so we get all the way to Other. Okay, gain 1 material and 1 population per bot region in play. Okay, bot region means this bot for us, so the Qin. Okay, and they do have 1 region in play, so they'll get 1 material and 1 population. If able, return an Unrest from discard. No, they don't have a discard pile right now, so that won't do anything. And then this card will go into history. Okay, so they'll gain 1 material, 1 population, and Prosperity goes into history. Okay, the next card is Duke Zhuang of Qin, which is a barbarian card. Okay, which is the first thing relevant, yes. If able, spend 3 population. They only have 2, so they can't do that, to break through for a tributary. Otherwise, if able, spend 1 material. They can do that, they have 1, to acquire civilized or uncivilized. Okay, otherwise gain 1 and 1, put this card into history. Okay, so they're going to spend a material, acquire a civilized or uncivilized card, and then this card will go into history. Again, there are 3 cards to choose from. This one is worth, it has the question mark, which means it's worth whatever the highest value listed is. So it's 1 VP, so that's only worth 1. This one's worth 6, the asterisk is 5, plus the progress is 6, and this one's worth 1. Okay, so this one's worth the most, mercenaries, so they will acquire it. The next card is Legalism, which is a pinned card. Okay. Add 1 progress to the market card in the slot matching the number on the die. Okay, this time they rolled a 1, so they actually will do that. Acquire a card that has 1 or more population on it, which will be that card as soon as they put that population on it. Put this card into history, and then the Carthaginians will discard a card. Okay, lots to do here. First they'll place population on the card matching the die roll, which is there. Then they'll acquire a card that has at least 1 population on it, which of course is the one they just placed. I'll take that population. Okay, acquire that card. Okay, and then what happens? Oh yeah, this card goes into history. All right, we'll do that. Put it under there, and then it says you may draw a card. So that means the Carthaginians will just discard a card. Okay, that's it. Last card for the Chin is Unrest. Alright, the Chin plays population instead of progress, so it'll go on the 1 card. And then we'll refill their hand. The Carthaginians now roll a 6, so they're going to play all of their cards. Starting with Glory, which has no symbols on it at all, but it is a named card on their chart. Okay, abandon 3 regions to gain the top fame card. They don't have any regions in play, so that won't do anything. Otherwise, break through for a region. Okay, they can do that. There are 2 regions in play. This one is worth 2. This one is worth nothing. Okay, so they'll take the one worth the most. Okay, even when bots break through, they still take whatever's in the market if they can. Okay. Next card is Unrest, which will go back to the Unrest pile. And then Urban Development, which is an Empire card. Okay, it's not Fame, not Glory, not Barbarian, not a region, not Pin, not Prosperity, not Tributary. Alright, so Other. If able, spend all materials to gain the same number of progress. Okay, they have 2 materials, so they can do that. Otherwise, if able, acquire a region. Otherwise, discard the top 2 cards in bot deck. Alright, so they'll do the first thing. Spend all of their materials to gain progress. So they'll spend 2 materials and get 2 progress. Next card for the Carthaginians is Prosperity, which is a named card for them here on the chart. Discard the top card from the bot deck. Okay, so here we mean the Carthaginians. Gain 1 population and 1 material per bot region in play. Again, that means the Carthaginians, and they don't have any regions in play, so that does nothing. And you may draw a card, so that means the Chin discard a card. The last card for the Carthaginians is Conquer, which is a barbarian card. Okay, if able, spend 3 population. They only have 2, so that won't work, to gain a tributary. Otherwise, if able, spend 2 materials. They just cashed in all their materials to get progress, so that won't do anything. Otherwise, gain 1 material and 1 population and put this card into history. Okay, so that last bit is what they'll do. Okay, that's the end of Carthaginian's turn. They won't place any materials because they rolled a 6. They'll just refill their hand. But their deck is empty, so they take a dynasty card, put it in their discard, and shuffle. The Chin turn now. They roll a 2 and start with a region, island, which says gain 1 population, play the region, exile a card, discard the top card of the bot deck. So the exile from left to right, Floodplain has a token on it, so they'll exile Jade Mask. Next card is a tributary, Axumites. but it has no other symbols on it. Okay, it's not fame, not glory, not attack, not barbarian, not region, not pinned. Okay, other. Gain 1 material and 1 population per region in play. The Jin have 2 regions in play, so they'll get 2 of each. If able, return unrest from the discard pile. I don't think they have any, but I'll check. And then this card will go into history. Next card is unrest. And then mercenaries, which is an empire card. There's no other interesting symbols. So we get all the way to other. Yeah. Okay, so same thing. 2 materials, 2 populations, since they have 2 regions. They don't have any unrest in their discard pile, and then mercenaries will go into history. Okay, that's all for the Qin. They place population on the 2 card, and they'll refill their hand, except their deck is empty. So, another dynasty card and shuffle. Okay, interesting issue here. Even after adding a card from the dynasty deck and shuffling, they still don't have enough. So, they add another card from the dynasty deck into discard, shuffle it into their deck, and then deal it out. Okay, so the Qin are going fast toward Empire here. Okay, so now it's the Carthaginians' turn. Carthaginians roll a 1 and begin with the Prosperity card, which says, discard the top card of the bot deck, gain a population and a material per region in play. The Carthaginians still don't have any regions in play, so that won't do anything. So basically both bots are just going to discard the top card of their deck. The Qin don't have a deck right now, so all that's going to happen is the Carthaginians will discard the top card of their deck. That's it. Whoa, deja vu. Okay, it's a prosperity card again. Same thing's going to happen. They don't have any regions in play, so they don't get any materials or population. The Qin don't have a deck, so nothing will happen there. So the Carthaginians will discard 1 card, and that's it. Okay, next card is a region, Balearic Islands. Okay, so discard the top card from the bot deck, play the region, exile a card from the market. Hey, Carthage finally has a region in play. Okay, exiling a card. These 2 both have tokens, so Metropolis will be exiled. Last card for the Carthaginians is Glory. Here, abandon 3 regions, can't do it. So they'll break through for a region. Well, there are 2 regions in the market. Woodland over here and Floodplain over here. They're both worth 0. So first tiebreaker is the one with the most tokens, which is this one. So they'll take it. Okay, that's the end of the Carthaginian turn. They place 2 materials on the 1 card and refill their hand. I don't think they have enough cards. No, they only have 2. So, another dynasty card, and they will shuffle. The Qin roll a 5 this time and begin with Unrest, and then Advance, which is a barbarian card. Okay, that's the first thing. If able, spend 3 population. Yes, they can do that. They have plenty. To break through for a tributary. Otherwise, they won't do that. Otherwise, they won't do that. Okay, then this card goes into history. Well, there are no tributaries in the market, so they're going to have to draw off the main deck until they find one. Well, they found one right away, Ionians, so they'll take that. Next card for them is School of Diplomacy, which is an attack card. If able, acquire a region. Yes, they can do that. If you have at least 1 region in play, okay, you meaning the other bot here, so the Carthaginians, and they do, they'll have to recall it, and the Qin will abandon a region. Okay, so first things first, they'll acquire Woodland. It's the only region in the market. Then they force the Carthaginians to recall a region, so they'll put it on their deck. And then they have to abandon a region, so the last one they put into play is Island, so that it gets abandoned. Last card for the Qin is Writing Systems, which is a pinned card. Here. Add 1 population to the market card in the slot matching the number on the die. Okay, that's the 5 card. Acquire a card that has 1 or more population on it. This card goes into history, and the Carthaginians discard the top card of their deck. So after adding a population to the 5 card, there are 2 cards in the market with population. This one's worth more victory points, so they're going to acquire that. Put it on top of their deck. Okay. And then, let's see what happens after that. Okay, this card will go into history, and the Carthaginians will discard the top card of their deck. Okay, that's it. Okay, so the Qin place more population on the 5 card. Slide that down, and they will refill their hand. The Carthaginians roll a 5 and begin with Unrest. And then a region, Floodplain. They're going to play this region. Okay, discard the top card, play the region, exile a card from the market. They will exile Oracle. Next card is Advance, a barbarian card. That says, if able, spend 3 population. Yes, they can do that. To break through for a tributary. Otherwise, that's it. Okay, so spend 3 population to break through for a tributary. Again, there are no tributaries in the market, so they'll draw from the deck until they find one. Take a little longer this time. Okay, Assyrians, so they'll take that, and we'll reshuffle the main deck. Last card for the Carthaginians is Fortunate Isle, which is barbarian as well as region, and actually barbarian comes first for them before region. Curious. I don't think I've seen that before on any of these bots. Okay, anyway, we're going to do barbarian here. Okay, if able, spend 3 population. They don't have that many to break through for tributary. Otherwise, spend 2 materials. They don't have that many either. Otherwise, gain 1 and 1 to put this card into history. Okay, so the last thing is what they'll do. Okay, that's the end of the Carthaginians' turn. They'll place 2 materials on the 5 card. Slide her down and refill their hand. The Qin roll a 2, and they start with a region card, Eastern Zhao, something like that. Okay, apologies for my bad pronunciations. Okay, it's a region and it's pinned. Okay, region comes first. Gain population, play the region, exile the card, discard the top card from the bot deck. They will exile Metropolis. Next card is City, which is pinned. Okay, so that should be the first thing. Yep. Add 1 population to the market card and slot matching the number on the die, so that's 2. Acquire a card that has 1 or more population on it, put this card in history, and then the Carthaginians discard a card. Okay, after placing that population, there are 2 cards with population on them. This one's worth 0 victory points, and this one's worth 5, so they'll take that one. Okay, next card is Woodland, a region card. Which says, gain a population, play the card, exile the card from the market, discard the top card of the bot deck. This time they'll exile Art. Last card for the Qin is a tributary, the Ionians. They don't have tributary on here. No, they don't. Okay, so we're getting all the way to other. Gain a material and a population per bot region in play. Okay, they have 3, so they'll take 3 of each. If able, return unrest from discard pile. I don't think they have any, but I'll check. And then this card will go into history. Okay, that's the end of the Qin turn. They place population on the 2 card. Slide that down, and they'll refill their hand. They do not have enough cards to do so. So, another dynasty card. And they'll shuffle. The Carthaginians roll a 2 and start with the Prosperity card, which says discard the top card of the bot deck. They can't because their deck is empty right now. Gain a population and a material per region. Okay, they have 1 region in play, so they'll get 1 of each. And then the Qin will discard the top card of their deck. And it's deja vu all over again. There's a Prosperity card again. Okay, again. Alright, so same thing. They don't have a deck right now, so they can't discard a card. So they'll take 1 and 1. And the Qin also don't have a deck anymore, so that's all that happens. 1 population, 1 material. Next is a tributary, the Berbers. And they do have tributary on their chart. Discard the top 3 cards from the bot deck. Well, the bot deck is empty. There's no cards there. So that does nothing. And when a instruction does nothing, you carry on. So we go to other. If able, spend all materials, they have 4, to gain the same number of progress. Okay, so they'll spend all their materials and gain 4 progress. Otherwise, if able, acquire, otherwise discard. Okay, so that's what they'll do. Last card is Glory. Abandon 3 regions to gain a fame card. They only have 1 region in play, so they won't do that. Otherwise, break through for a region, so they'll do that. Well, there are 2 regions in play. They're both worth 0 victory points, so they'll take the one with the most tokens, which is River. That's the end of the turn for the Carthaginians, so they'll place 2 materials on the 2 card, and they'll refill their hand. And they only have 1 card in their deck, so another Dynasty card, and they'll shuffle. The chin roll is 6 again, and begin with Unrest. The next card is, more excitement. Unrest. Okay, and then Moneylenders, an Empire card. Don't think they have that symbol here. No. Okay, so other. Gain 1 material and 1 population per bot region in play. They have 3, so they'll get 3 of each. If able, return Unrest from discard. I don't think they have any. And then this card will go into history. Next card is Glory. So for the chin, if able, abandon 2 regions to gain the top fame card. Yeah, they can do that. They have 3 regions in play, so they'll abandon this one and then that one. And they'll gain the top fame card. Go on top of their deck. Last card is a region, Island. Okay. Gain a population, play the region, exile a card, and discard the top card of the deck. They will exile Coinage. Since they rolled a 6, they won't place any population. They'll just refill their hand. Well, the deck's empty, so they go to get a Dynasty card, and lo and behold, it's their Full Moon card there. Long Walls. So, looks like the Chin have started building the Great Wall. Okay, so that means they become an empire now. And they'll shuffle their deck. The Carthaginians roll a 5 again. And the first card is Assyrians, tributary card. So, discard the top 3 cards from the bot deck. Well, they do have cards in their deck now, so they can do that. Next card is a region, Rivers. Or River, I should say. Okay, region. Discard the top card of the bot deck, play the region, exile the card. They will exile the Temple. Next card is Urban Development, which is an Empire card, which I don't think they have on here. Nope. Okay, other. If able, spend all materials, they have 2, to gain the same number of progress. Otherwise. Okay, so they'll do that. Spend 2 materials, gain 2 progress. Last card for the Carthaginians is a region, Balearic Islands. Discard the top card of the deck, play the region, exile a card. They will exile the Moneylenders. Okay, they place 2 materials on the 5 card. Slide that down. They'll refill their hand. They only have 1 card in their deck, however. So, another card off the Dynasty deck, and they'll shuffle their deck. The Jin start their turn by rolling a 5, and they play a region card first, Eastern Shu. Okay, now we are using the Empire chart for the Qin. Okay, so region. It's also pinned, but that comes after region. Okay. Play this region, exile a card from the market, add 1 population to the market card in the slot matching the number on the die. Okay. So they will exile exports. Exile exports. Yes, I said that right. Because they rolled a 5, they place their population on the 5 card. Okay. Alright, next card for them is another region, Woodland. Okay, so we should have a repeat of the last one. Okay, play the region, exile a card, add a population to the 5 card again. They will exile Invasion, and then they'll add another population to Oasis. The next card is Glory. which is named in their chart. If able, abandon 2 regions to gain the top fame card. Yes, they can do that. They have 4 regions in play. Otherwise, if able to discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. Discard the top card of the Dynasty deck. That's strange. I wonder if that means put it in the discard pile. Okay. Usually it would say that instead of discard it. Okay. I guess that's what it means. Anyway, they're not doing that because they're going to do the first thing. Otherwise, gain 2 progress. Okay, so they're going to do the first thing. Abandon 2 regions to gain the top fame card. Next card is School of Diplomacy, which is an attack card. So here, if able, acquire a region. Yeah, they can do that. If you have at least 1 region in play, if you have at least 1 region in play, so that refers to the Carthaginians, and they do, you recall a region, so the Carthaginians will have to recall a region, and the bot will abandon a region. Okay, so first they're going to acquire a region, and then they'll do that second thing. There are 2 regions they can acquire, Steppe and Oasis. They're both worth 0 victory points. So the first tiebreak is the one with the most tokens on it, which would be Oasis. So they will acquire that. And now the Carthaginians have to recall a region. This is the last one they put in play, so they will recall it. And then the Qin have to abandon a region. So the last one they put in play will now go in the discard. Okay, the Qin place Population on the 5 card and refill their hand. They didn't quite have enough cards to complete that, so once again, a Dynasty card comes and they'll shuffle their deck. The Carthaginians start by rolling a 4 and they play their favorite card, Prosperity. Okay, so discard the top card of the bot deck. Gain 1 and 1 per region. They have 2 regions in play, so 2 of each. And then the Qin discard a card. Next card is Advance, which is a Barbarian card. If able, spend 3 population. Sure, they can do that. To break through for a tributary. Okay, otherwise. Okay, that's what they'll do. No tributaries in the market, so once again they go to, okay, got one right away. It's the Egyptians, so we'll take that. Next card is a tributary, the Assyrians. Tributary, discard the top 3 cards of the bot deck. Okay, they can do that. And last card is another tributary, Berbers, so same thing. Discard the top 3 cards of the bot deck. They end their turn by placing 2 materials on the 4 card. Slide this down. And because they had all those tributaries making them discard cards from their deck is now depleted, and so they will shuffle. The Qin roll 3, and they start with Long Walls, which is pinned and an Empire card. Okay, so it's none of these. Okay, pinned comes before Empire. If able, return an Unrest from discard. I don't think they have any. If able, acquire a card that has 1 or more population on it. Yeah, there are a few. And put this card into history. Okay, 2 cards with population. Both are regions. Both with 0 victory points. This one has more tokens on it, so they'll take Steppe. Next card is a region, Oasis. So play the region, exile a card, add 1 population to the card matching the die. So they will exile Espionage. Next card is a Fame card, Great. Okay, so Fame. Put this card into history. Add 1 population to the market card and the slot matching the number on the die. Next card is Woodland, a region. So they'll play the region, exile a card, and then add a population to the die number roll. They will exile Agriculture. Okay, they add another population to this card. They added a bunch of population to that card this turn. They end their turn by doing it again. Okay, and then they'll refill their hand. The Carthaginians now start their turn by rolling a 4, and they play Urban Development, which is an Empire card. I don't think their chart has that. Nope. So we get to Other. If able, spend all materials to gain the same number of progress. Okay, I think they have 2 materials. Otherwise, if able, acquire a region. Otherwise, discard the top card of the bot deck. Okay, they're going to spend all their materials to gain progress. Next card is Glory, which is abandon 3 regions to gain the top fame card. Okay, they only have 2 regions in play. They can't do that. Otherwise, break through for a region. Okay, they'll break through for a region. There are 2 in the market, both are worth 0. So first tiebreaker is the one with the most tokens, so they'll take that one. Next card is a region, Mauritania. Okay, region, discard the top card of the bot deck, play the region, exile the card from the market. So they will exile Plain. Last card for the Carthaginians is a tributary, the Egyptians, which will be discard the top 3 cards from the deck. So the Carthaginians place 2 materials on the 4 card, and they will refill their hand. The Chin roll a 2 and begin with a fame card, Imperium. So that says, put this card into history, add 1 to the market card with the slot matching the die roll. Okay, next card is Terracotta Warriors, which doesn't have any symbols on it at all. Okay, so it looks like we're going to go all the way to other. Okay, acquire any card. If able, spend 1 population to gain 1 progress. That's kind of laughable. I mean, they have so much population to spend 1 to gain 1. Okay, I'm going to put this card into history. So they can acquire any card in the market. This one is worth the most because it's 5 with the asterisk. That one's 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so they'll take Mercenaries. Next card is a region, Eastern Zoo. Okay, play the region, exile the card, add 1 population in the usual way. Okay, they'll exile the Etruscans, and they'll place another population on the 2 card. Last card for the Chin is a region, Island. So, play the island, exile the card, add 1 population to the market. So they will exile the Macedonians. Okay, once again, adding more population to that 2 card, and then they'll refill their hand. Didn't quite have enough cards, so once again, a dynasty card, reshuffle. Carthaginians start by rolling a 2, and they play a region, Iberia. So, discard the top card of the deck, play the region, exile the card. They will exile the Hittites. There's Prosperity again. So for them, discard the top card of the deck, gain 4 of each. Now they have 4 regions in play. And then the Chin will discard a card. Next card is Advance, which is a Barbarian card. If able, spend 3 population to break through for a tributary. Yeah, they could do that. Otherwise, okay, so that's what they'll do. Okay, no tributaries in the market, so they'll go looking for 1 in the main deck. Okay, found the Scythians. I'll take that. Next card is a tributary, Assyrians. That says discard the top 3 cards of the bot deck. Well, they have 1 card in their deck, so they'll discard that. So they'll end their turn by placing 2 materials on the 2 card, and they'll refill their hand, but their deck is empty, so they will take the next dynasty card, which is their full moon card. It's the city of Carthage. So the Carthaginians now become an empire. Okay, the Chin roll a 3 and start with a region step. So play the region, exile the card, and add a population in the usual way. So they will exile Jungle. Next card is Unrest. And then School of Diplomacy, which is an attack card. If able, acquire a region. If you have at least 1 region in play, okay, so you meaning the Carthaginians, which they do, they have 4. They'll have to recall 1, and then the Chin will abandon 1. There's only 1 region in the market, so they will acquire Rainforest. The Carthaginians recall the last region they put in play, which is Iberia. And the Chin have to abandon the last region they put in play, which is Steppe. Okay, last card for the Chin is Glory. Which says, if able, abandon 2 regions to gain the top fame card. Yes, they can do that. Otherwise. Okay, they'll do that. So they've abandoned 2 regions, and they'll take the top fame card. Okay, they place even more population on that card and refill their hand. They only have 2 cards in their deck, though. So once again, new dynasty card. Okay, the Carthaginians roll a 3, and they play a tributary, the Berbers. They are now an empire, so we're looking at a new chart now. So not barbarian, not fame, not attack, not glory, not empire, not region, not pinned. Okay, all the way to other. Put this card into history. If able, spend 2 materials or spend 2 population to gain progress. Spend 2 or 2. Well, how do we decide? You take unrest. Okay, so that means the Qin take unrest. Well, that's interesting. Or what, are we supposed to make the decision? All right, I'll have to think about that. Okay, well, I did a quick Google search on this to see if I could find an answer to this query. It says spend 2 materials or spend 2 population. And I'm not sure if we're just supposed to choose, which seems strange, given that this is a bot. I don't like that at all. Or what. So I think I didn't find anything. But, you know, I didn't look that hard, but I didn't find anything. So I think the way to read this is probably, if able, spend 2 materials, or failing that, spend 2 population. I think that's probably what it means. Okay, so let's just read it like that. So we're going to spend 2 materials. They do have enough. They do have 2 to gain a population. Or sorry, a progress. 2 materials to gain a progress. And the Qin have to take unrest. Okay, the next card is another tributary, Egyptians. So it looks like we're going to have a repeat. There's no tributaries anywhere on here. So this will go into history. Spend 2 materials. They do still have 2 more, so they'll gain a progress. And make the Qin take more unrest. Okay. More tributaries. Okay, so same thing again. Except they're out of materials now. So I guess now we're going to start spending population. Okay, so they'll spend 2 population this time to gain a progress and make the Qin take even more unrest. Hey, look, a card that's not a tributary. Okay, urban development, which is an empire card. Okay, so if able, acquire a civilized or uncivilized card. Yeah, they can do that. Otherwise, gain 1 and you take unrest. Okay, so they're just going to acquire a civilized or uncivilized card. Well, there are 4 cards to choose from here. This one's worth 2, this one's 1, this one's 1, and this one's 2. So the ones on the end are worth the most. They're tied for the most. So first tiebreaker is most tokens, so that's obviously town. So they'll take that. Okay, Carthaginians in their turn by placing 2 materials on the 3 card. And they will refill their hand. Qin roll a 3 and play mercenaries first, which is an empire card. Okay, all the way here. No other symbols are relevant. Okay, if able, spend 1 population. Yeah, that's easy. To discard the top card of the dynasty deck. Regardless, gain a progress and put this card into history. Okay, that's worded kind of strangely. Never seen the word regardless in any of these tables. Alright, they can spend the population for sure. And I assume to discard means to put it in the discard pile. That makes sense. Even though it's usually not written like that. Okay, so put it in the discard pile. And then gain a progress and put this card into history. The next card is a fame card, acclaimed. So fame, put this card into history, and add population to the market, according to the die roll. Okay, next card is more long walls. It's both pinned and empire. Pinned comes first. Right, if able, return unrest from this card. There's no unrest in their discard. If able, acquire a card that has 1 or more population on it and put this card into history. Well, there's exactly 1 card with 1 or more population on it. It's this card, leadership, so they'll take that. Last card for the Qin is Island, which is a region card. So, play the region, exile the card from the market, and add population. So they will exile Peninsula, and they'll add population to the 3 card. Whoops. 2. exuberant there. Okay. Alright, that's the end of their turn, so they add another progress to the 3 card and refill their hand. The Carthaginians roll a 6, so they're going to play all their cards, starting with a tributary, the Assyrians. Okay, once again, tributary is not on this chart anymore. So, put the card into history, and if able, spend 2 materials, they can, to gain a progress, and then force the Qin to take some unrest. Okay, next card is unrest. Back to the pile. Then town, which is both pinned and barbarian. Okay, barbarian is the first thing. Gain 1 material, discard a card from the bot deck, put this card into history. Here is a region, Iberia. It's also pinned, but region comes first. Gain a material, play this region, and exile a card. They will exile road building. And here's prosperity, which is no longer a named card now that they're an empire. Okay, so we'll go all the way to other. I think, yeah. Okay, put this card into history. If able, spend 2 materials. Yes, they can do that to gain a progress. And then make the Qin take even more unrest. Okay, because the Carthaginians rolled a 6, they don't place any materials, they just refill their hand. Okay, the Qin roll a 1, and they start with unrest. In fact, there'll probably be a lot of unrest here because the Carthaginians have been forcing the Qin to take a lot of unrest lately. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is unrest. Nope, it isn't. Okay. Leadership, which doesn't have any icons on it at all, except for civilized and uncivilized, but I don't think that's on here. No. Okay, so acquire any card. If able, spend a population to gain a progress and put this card into history. Okay, well, there are 2 corruption cards, both worth 2 points each, and those are the most in the market. So first tiebreaker would be the most tokens. They're tied, they both have 0. So they take the one in the lowest spot, which will be this one. Okay, the main deck is now empty, so that triggers the end of game. That means the Qin will finish this turn, and the Carthaginians will have a turn, and then there'll be one more round. The Qin, the Carthaginians, and that'll be it. We'll score the game and see who wins. The next card for the Qin is, oh, there's some unrest, and then there's some more unrest. Okay. So they'll place some population on the 1 card and refill their hand. The Carthaginians roll a 5, and they start with a region, grassland. So they'll gain a material, play this region, and exile a card. They will exile invasion. Caravans is next. It's a pinned card. It's down here. Gain 2 materials, put this card into history. Another region, Balearic Islands. So gain material, play the region, exile a card. Now the first one without a token is corruption way over here. So they'll exile that. Last card for the Carthaginians is Advance, which is a barbarian card. So gain a material, discard a card from the bot deck, and put this card into history. Okay, that's the end of the turn for the Carthaginians. They would put materials on the 5 card, but there isn't one anymore, and there's no deck to take one from, so they won't do that. Just slide this down and refill their hand. Oh, they didn't have enough cards to do that, so one from the Dynasty deck, and they'll shuffle. Okay, we're on the last round now. So the Qin's last turn, they roll a 5, and they begin with a region, Rainforest. Okay, so they'll play the region, exile the card from the market, add a population to the market. Well, the only cards left in the market have tokens on them, so they won't exile any of those, and there is no card where they would put population, so they won't do that either. Okay, so all they did was play that region. Next is Unrest, then Corruption, which is an Empire and Attack card. Attack comes first. If able, acquire a region. Yeah, they can do that. If you have at least 1 region in play, they do. Or sorry, if you have at least 1 region in play, so that refers to the Carthaginians, and they do. They'll have to recall 1, and then the Qin will abandon 1. So they'll acquire the only region left, which is more. the Carthaginians recall a region and the Qin abandon one. Okay, last card for the Qin. Big excitement. Unrest. Alright, they would normally place a population there, but they're not able to do that, so slide that down and refill their hand, and they've got plenty of cards to do that, so they won't take any more dynasty cards. Okay, that's it for the Qin. Alright, last turn of the game. The Carthaginians also roll a 5, and they start with Glory, which says, if able, abandon 3 regions to gain a fame card. Yeah, they can do that. They're going to get a fame card before the end of the game. Okay, otherwise break through, discard 2 cards. Alright, so they'll abandon 3 regions and take the top fame card. Okay, abandon 3 regions, and now take the top fame card. Next card is City of Carthage. Pinned card. Gain 2 materials, put this card into history. Well, the Carthaginians don't want to go without playing this card at least one more time. Okay, except it doesn't... It's not named on this chart anymore now that they're an empire. I guess I don't care about it as much anymore. Okay. Anyway, it's another card. Put this card into history. If able, spend 2 materials. They can do that to gain progress and force the Qin to take some unrest. Okay, last card of the game is Monopoly, which is an attack and empire card. So attack, breakthrough for a tributary. Put this card into history. The Qin must abandon a region and discard a card. Okay, so breaking through for a tributary, there are no tributaries in the market, so they would go to the deck to see if they can find one, but they don't find one, so they just take 2 progress. Alright, that's the end of the Carthaginians' turn. They'd normally place 2 materials on the 5 card, but there isn't one, so slide this card down and refill their hand. They're going to run out of cards. Okay, so they're going to pick up one last dynasty card before the end of the game. Alright, that's it. Time to do the score. Okay, time to tally the score and see who wins. As usual, instead of just adding up all the victory points and seeing who has the highest, I just match them up 1 for 1, and whoever has victory points to spare is the winner. Okay, so we'll start with the tokens. You know, it felt when I was playing that the Qin were really running away with the game, but, you know, they got hardly any progress at all. They were really focusing more on getting to Empire quickly and getting those really valuable cards out of the Dynasty deck. So they only ended up getting 4 progress tokens the whole game, whereas the Carthaginians ended up with 19. So they're way ahead on that. So we'll have to see how that balances out when we look at the cards. Okay, so we have 4 progress tokens for the Qin and 4 for the Carthaginians. Those balance out. Now looking at these tokens, for every 10 materials and population combined, that counts as a progress token. So that counts as progress. So there's 3, 4 from the Qin, and so let's see. So that'll be 4 from there. There we go. So that balances out, and then these don't count for anything. They don't. There's not enough to add up to anything. All right, and over here we have another 10, so that's a progress token, and there's only 8 left here, so those aren't worth anything. All right, so after doing the progress tokens, the Carthaginians are ahead by 12. Okay, so I went into the Qin's deck and found 12 victory points worth of cards to counterbalance these 12 victory points here. So once again, asterisks are worth 5 points each, so we ignore the text on those and just call them 5, so this is 12. Alright, so that is balanced out. Also, the Qin had some unrest cards in their hand, had 3 in their hand. They were -2 each. And then there's this Mandate of Heaven card, which is curious because it actually is a question mark. And whenever there's a question mark, we treat it as whatever the highest value listed is. Well, the highest value listed is -2. So I assume we're supposed to treat this as -2 victory points. Although, I mean, I suppose one could make the argument that there's also like an unstated 0 or something. And maybe we're supposed to take the 0 to be the higher value. I don't know. But I'm just going to take the rule literally that says we just take the highest printed value. That's what the rule says. So we'll treat that as -2. All right. So that's balanced out by this card. This is a fame card that is also a question mark, and so it's worth 8 victory points. Okay, so that balances all of that out for the chin. All right, so now everything's even. We'll just put the cards in 2 columns here, and we'll go down the column, matching them up 1 for 1, and we'll see who has any victory points left at the end. That nation is the victor. Okay, our columns are all set up, so we will just go down, matching 1 for 1, and we'll see who has any victory points left at the end. Okay, starting here we have 7 and 7. Those match up. 6 victory points on this side, 6 on that side. Okay, here's 15 on both sides. These are asterisks. Okay, here we have 8 points and 8 points. And finally, the Carthaginians have run out of points. Okay, so the Jin win by 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 points. There you have it. The Jin are victorious. So here's the tournament bracket. As it stands now, the Jin are victorious. And there is one more game to play in the first round, which will be the Celts versus the Utopians. We'll play that game next. I hope you'll join me then. Until then.